Right, everybody, good evening. Bienvenidos a todos a la Gran Premio de la Ciudad de México. We are on round 20 of 23, 4 to go. And we are getting going here. See everyone just getting all loaded in, using setups, etc. Now, I think the general consensus in the Noesis chat is that North America can't do racetracks. I don't think there are many on the whole continent that they enjoy. We were, of course, just north of the Mexican border last week, and this week they're not faring much better in terms of practice. So we're getting it all together and ready to go. We'll see. Will we see any rain, do we think? Probably not, it's Mexico, but there we go. There we are. So, moving in, 16 in. So that means obviously we'll be doing qualifying as per the norm, but we only lose one at the end of this session. And in terms of who we've got Salty there. There's a new one. Chivas tonight is reserving in the place of TD in the Aston Martin. Anyone else of note? We've got Nifty Nasri, oh dear. As a Red Bull reserve tonight as well. So aside from that, most of your favourite names are within. I say most of, because 1010 is missing as well. So we've got a few out on track. See who we've got at the front of the queue going around there. Most likely to be our championship leader, John. So go, we'll see, without 1010 in the way. More than fancy his chances at getting a massive step towards this championship. All dry, thankfully, mercifully. Mexico is enough chaos without any weather. Here goes John, our championship leader. Gets himself started in a track that is just one DRS zone, pretty much. The second one doesn't bear a lot of relevance. Hitting the braking point nicely. John, of course, will be setting the benchmark. Tends to be doing that at some point in the session anyway. 28.6 through one sector. As he jumps on, holds onto the track limits. And here we come into this twisting, turning section. Nobody likes this. The curbs are harsh. And the corners are neither here nor there in terms of some of the timing. He's kept it on the track, John. Approaching the stadium section, so a repurposed bit of baseball stadium, this one. Where the podium complex is. feeds out nicely toward the line. John taking the line of least resistance and puts a 16.4 on the board to get us going. There we go. And Chivers follows that up about 1.2 seconds back. To be honest, John probably can stick it in the pits and run with that from there. Flamingo Eagle 118.2, so field's beginning to form a little bit. So see what Jay Clates has got in there. It's up to 17.8, so right in the middle of the midfield, as it were. We have the Red Bull coming around. That's right, on a lap. McLaren gets out of the way off track. And Ryan has been through, got himself within a tenth and a half of John there. Nasri obviously learning the ropes a little bit, takes a lap or two to get yourself into it with a 118.7 for the Red Bull driver. Let's pick up that guy as he comes through the second and third sectors now, through that twisting section, as invalidated. Jump on with somebody else. Let's see an angry corgi. We've got the John fan club in tonight. Fantastic, and you'll love this because his championship rival is not in the session, so he is eking closer and closer to this championship. As we see his teammate, an angry corgi, still keeping it on the track. 58.4 through 2 sectors. Winding through the stadium section. Jumping onto the curb a little bit. Nice and controlled through the final turn. And up to the line goes to 7th there, 18.5. So John obviously with a full haul can make the gap 52 points with 3 races to go. So of course he can't get it done. But this, basically, if he was to go for the full haul of 26, he would be well on the way to sealing the championship today. Obviously, in the next couple of races or so. Let's pick up Greg, see what Greg can offer us. Let's follow him round for a lap. Yeah. Breaks into this first chicane, a little bit of an awkward one, goes right, left, right again, spits you back out onto another DRS zone. Those first 3 turns, nice little toe from his the car just ahead there. As Top Gun joins in. Not often Top Gun gets to the session in time for first quali, but he might have a chance of getting out here. That was Prev giving Greg a toe. See how close Top Gun can get if he can get himself into the session. It'd be quite nice to see whether he can maybe rival John and Ryan at the top. Those two seem to be the pace setters early on. Still with Deflated and Joseph to set a lap. But Joseph, you would imagine, it certainly would be right up there, as he has been most of the season. As Greg pops it up into 6th. Good opportunity for Greg to score a fair few points here, I think. Keep the nose clean. Himself, Jay Clates, say, both of those could be well in with a shot. As that guy popped himself back into 3rd. It's been a while since we've seen him that high on the leaderboard. Good lap from the McLaren driver. Back at a track I would presume he likes a little bit more than some others. Yeah, let's follow Prev now. Obviously we've seen Greg. Let's see what Greg's teammate can do. Snakes through this section. From the shadows into the light, back through some shadows and some trees on the side. And swinging it into the stadium section as you see the podium complex on the right. Onto the hairpin, through under the stadium. And Prev looks like he's going to produce a nice lap there indeed. 4th place for Prev on a 17.4. So still is about a second off of the very top. But I do think there's a very, very good chance for the midfield here to get some very good points. As Deflator comes through, 3rd for him. Still sat about 3/10 off of John. And you'd imagine that's a handy time to see through qualifying. Pick up Smaller Smiley. Starting a lap off there. Who completely missed the apex on the first part of the chicane. And has backed out. The Ferrari livery is he in the game as well? I do think is possibly one of the nicest liveries I've seen in a while. Don't at me. Lovely. Thanks for the follow. I'm going to call you Jedi. Is cheering on Salty tonight in the Alpine. Top Gun has managed to get into the session. He is our 17th driver, which means we lose 2 at the end here, rather than just 1. Salty, in terms of his position, currently in 7th, looking a fairly sure bet to get through this session, you'd imagine. Barring any miracles, I think he'd be safely through. Smaller Smiley starting again after backing out, completely missing the apex on the first turn last time. And fires it through. Can he hit it this time? That's better. Better from Smaller Smiley. And that's a good foundation to... Oh, it would have been close on the track limits. And invalidating on the exit of the first chicane. Turn 3, that one. Claims another victim in the shape of that red liveried car. Let's jump on to see Joseph there, really throwing it through turn 1. Clinging on nicely to the side of the track. Keeping it on the track where Smaller Smiley has just failed to before him. We always see drivers cling on through that particular part of track as well, but it's well done there from Joseph to keep it on. Winding it through the S section. And invalidates whilst winding it through the S section. And so Joseph will have to have another go as well. Smaller Smiley going again? Smaller Smiley is going again. 5 minutes left in the session. Got to feel this one's got to be got right. There were 2 drivers yet to set a time. Smaller Smiley is the slowest of the lot on a back out time there. Adam definitely could be in some trouble. I think Padge ought to be watching this back based on this as well. He's out on track, so can do something about it. Smaller Smiley safely through the first sector this time. Winding through towards that double right-hander. Deflated Wee retires out in 3rd place, as said, nice and safe through there. Ride on board and see just how the track limits are. through this winding section here. It's very, very safe from Small Smiley. We know he needs a banker on the board. Throws it in. Just take a decent bit of speed through that particular turn there. 90 right-hander, another 90 right-hander leading on to the Nigel Mansell turn as it is now. And pops it up to 6th place there. Smaller Smiley, I think had about 3 attempts at that, but has eventually managed to get one on the board. And Joseph is almost completely out of energy as we join him on his flying lap. Hopefully should get to the line. It's going to be very, very close in the battery side of things. What can Joseph produce for us? It's up to 3rd place. Pip's deflated there by about half a tenth. And it leaves Top Gun as the only runner without a lap on the board. We are looking obviously at Top Gun as he comes around to start the lap. Greg has retired out there. The Salty has as well. Both of those could be quite safe, really, based on what we've seen there. Top Gun knows he needs this one. Oh, that was almost round. Still going to have a good chance, I'd imagine, though, of getting decent time on the board. Certainly one that is good enough to get him out of Q1. He is a last 2 contender. Imagine what he could do if he doesn't have to do all that passing at the beginning of a Grand Prix. He might be about to find out. Jump on through this winding S section. The driver just about cutting as much as he possibly can of that last left-hander. Filing down towards the stadium section now. Maybe tough with no practice. Well, always is, but there's always a miracle result in there somewhere, isn't there? That's my cause for no practice. Top Gun there, up to 9th. You'd imagine that, well, that will do the job because he's got 2 drivers who have retired out behind him. But he is safe. Not obviously an ideal lap from him. There's still a fair bit in that based on that slide in turn 1. Obviously just making sure he's getting a time on the board more than anything else, I think that was the key. Joseph, naughty. No, that's not Joseph. I've just watched finish the lap. So, oh come on Padge, get on track. Padge is not on track. Padge is going. Padge is out. It's in 16th. Sorry. Evening, Salty. See what your teammate has got on the track. Apart from not a lot of energy in the battery, because he's already down to about 45% by the time we hit turn 1. Yeah. Where's Drift Ninja? That's an idea. Where is Drift Ninja? Andrew Fairley, welcome back. No, he's I don't know, he's dropped out a while ago. In terms of the racing, that is, and whereas 1010, that's anyone's guess. Certainly not in this lobby, at least. So, John, as I said, has got a big chance. Flamingo Eagle to the line now, fighting in 13th at the moment, improves to 10th and just ensures his safety there. We've got Nasri now coming through. Adam has backed off of his lap and he is in the pit, so Nasri is safe in his first Q1 session this season and doesn't improve. And an angry corgi will also be safe, so we'll finish this one with Imagine. But has that absolute relaxation of being able to go through. Slight improvement there. Okay. So, how come? I couldn't tell you. It's management side maybe. But yeah, here we go. So John is the top of the session, as we were probably expecting really with this one. But Ryan, Joseph deflated, looking like they might be the ones that do potentially give him a run. So it's John from Ryan, from Joseph from deflated. That guy also up there with Prev close in tow, the rest more than a second off. So from Smaller Smiley downwards, we're over a second away from the lead time. We lose Padge and Adam at the end of the session here. Neither of those being able to get a time to see them away. Which means Nifty Nasri gets through in his first Q1 session in IIRL's no assist tier this season. So, yay.
Never won a race after 383 attempts, highest of any team in Formula One history. They came close 5 times in 1978.
See what we can produce in Q2. Will the times keep tumbling? We wonder. We'll probably see a little bit more of the top runners in this session, as always. First couple are now going out onto the track, headed by Jay Clates. Joseph is also out early, as is John. Friends reunited moment back in chat. Good to see Andrew and Padge there. Padge will have a little bit more time after having been knocked out in Q1. Sorry. Joseph's going to be the first to obviously get a lap on the board with Imagine, unless he manages to invalidate it. Seemingly, if not him, it will be, of course, John, who just does not stop pumping in quick laps. There we go, Joseph taking as much as he can possibly get away with on there to see himself into a lap. See exactly what he can produce through this flying lap here. The one run will be good enough for him. Ups the apex nicely through chicane. Going up into the second sector now. Another twisting, turning complex. You don't want to get any closer than that. Keeps it just about on there. Flamingo Eagle has retired out, and that is going to be a crash at turn 3, I believe. Tried to catch it there, didn't manage it. Joseph's still going, still between the white lines. 57.1 through 2 sectors there. Towards the final corner. As Joseph comes through, the benchmark is a 16.6, and now it's a 16.2 with John following him through. Jay Clates will be next up. 17.8 for himself. With then that guy, I believe, being next one in. 18.1, but we know he's got a bit more in there. So he goes up to 18.3. Best time we've seen from him so far. Let's see Salty. And it's backed out of that. That was an odd line. Still going. And the Red Bull follows in behind of Top Gun. And pops in a 17.1. Slightly more representative, I'd imagine, from Top Gun. That's the pace that we can expect to see him at, you'd imagine, for the duration of this Grand Prix. Let's follow Chivers here, and Chivers is not the only one being followed. There's two Williams ahead of him, Ryan being one of them. And see what Chivers can produce here. Again, just about keeping it within the track limits there. Oh, not ideal for that Williams to be there, and Chivers comes in. Out of that lap, Ryan is also in. I think it might have been Jay Clates there that was very, very close to the outside line. Let's watch an angry Corgi again. John John's teammate once more. Obviously we know, but John John's got a chance to extend his lead. We've also got potentially a chance for Haas to get back into this Constructors as well. Okay, as deflator popped up to P3, very, very close to the back of Joseph. Still needing a couple of tenths. As an angry Corgi obviously invalidates there. Still needs a couple of tenths to himself up with John John. He has promptly retired out of the session. Yes, the Constructors is down to 45 points now. So while we may have looked at this and thought, actually Mercedes have got it wrapped up, it's not anywhere near as close anymore. We do also have Williams with a good chance to close a gap, as do Alfa Romeo. Red Bulls also aren't sat a million miles away, and nor are the Astons. But you'll fancy that the Haas, of course, have got the best chance to get this lead cut down. Potentially an angry call for some points if he can keep himself within the lines. We've got Smaller Smiley and Ryan both on track, who will not be a couple of drivers who are expecting to be down in the drop zone. They are giving it a renewed attempt. Smaller Smiley will be first to himself onto another flying lap as Prev goes through with a 16.8. Wow. Okay. That's another one right in the mix there all of a sudden. Oh, Smaller Smiley. Shaking it off the track. Manages to just keep the lap. I don't think he's going to keep going. I think we saw a bit of Flamingo Eagle's wheel down there as well. It's definitely at turn 3 that he came off on the curbs, I believe it was. Smaller Smiley keeps going. Can he make up some of that lost time through that wobble at turn 3? Still between the lines as he comes towards the stadium section. Let's ride on board through here. Just doesn't seem to be getting it turned in on that particular corner. be oh so careful on the traction through this section. And the line of least resistance 2 at the start finish. And up to 9th for Smaller Smiley, so it's better than nothing, I suppose, there. We'll be targeting Q3, I would imagine, though. Very, very close to Nasri's time. As Ryan comes in, and Ryan tops the timesheets. 16.3 was closer to John in the first session, and is proving to be again here. Greg, let's follow him, is nearly 2/10 up on his time from the beginning there, and from the first run. Prev is indeed cooking. I think the Alpha Tauris could be in for some big points here. Greg also does look like there's some improvement in there. Let's see, it's total the 4/10 up through 2 sectors. Just needs to keep it quick and clean. Make it sound easy, don't I? Quick and clean through the final sector. Diving into the final turn, the Nigel Mansell turn. And shortest run to the line. There is definite improvement. He's gone for the same time as Top Gun. It's a 1:17.109, exactly the same as his Red Bull counterpart. Top Gun, having done the lap first, keeps himself ahead. So an Angry Corgi will still need a lap, Chivers will still need a lap, Flamingo Eagle can't get a lap because of turn 3. And let's see what an Angry Corgi has got on the second run. Up to the slowest running time on the board. Might be able potentially to have one more go. Still 4.5 minutes left. Plenty of time to get round in, potentially back out again. Certainly time to get round if we're saving fuel, if it's fuel for another run. Let's pick up that guy. I think is possibly on a... No, it's not on a call. It's really sending it, actually. There we go, and is a whole second up on current time there, that guy. We have another one. Headed towards this little battle for sort of 5th, 6th, 7th. Coming up here. Nigel Mansell turn we go. Through to the line. That guy jumps up to 3rd. That's a monumental improvement. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant stuff. 16.6 there. Sets him just ahead of Joseph and Deflated. Brilliant. What a lap from that guy. And he can go ahead, go to the pits and have a nice cold one, I'd imagine. We watch Nifty Nasri. Can he and Salty get through on their first sessions in IIRL, the debutantes as they are? As Wolf. Let's see. A little bit dodgy. But he's on a slow there. Let's pick up Salty instead. You can still see his teammate's wheel. Hidden behind turn 3. Those marshals need to get out and get that. Salty's going to have another go. Greg retires. Wow, gutsy retirement there, but there is well over a second in it. Fancy Smaller Smiley needs to get out the pits, and that is what he's doing. John's just been in and out of the session there. Okay. Dodgy American internet not working in Mexico tonight.
Hello to everyone here and welcome. And a special shout out to our guests, Lars Hammer and Arthur Jackman, affectionately known as the Jackhammer.
See, Nasri is still going with this lap. Just need to see whether he can find a fair bit of time. We think John's come across a bug. Oh god. How many legs did it have? Boo. There's a helicopter outside. My goodness. Oh, they're looking for me. It's IIRL management have turned up. Searchlights and all. As Nasri improves a tiny little bit. Still doesn't get himself up above smaller Smiley. Let's see what Salty's got. It's half a second down through first sector. Probably would be better backing off and having another go. We've also got Chivers, who definitely needs one. We are all out on track, bar the ones who have retired, of course. And that guy Ryan at the top. And it's Steely in the chat. There we go. We're watching final knock-ins of Q2. We're trying to watch Chivers get through, see whether he's got a time that can see him through to Q3. He has got a time that will see him through to Q3, a 16.6. Isn't that brilliant? What a class lap that is from Chivers. And that has really put the cat amongst the pigeons. What has Smaller Smiley got? We'll be expecting not to be that low come the end of the Grand Prix, but a big improvement needed from the Ferrari driver if he's going to see himself out of Q2. Coming to the line now, around the Nigel Mansell turn, and comes up with only a time good enough for 11th. Gets within a couple of tenths of Greg in 10th place, but no dice as far as qualification is concerned for Smaller Smiley. Chivers has had a few tinnies, I'm not surprised. Yeah. This must be why he's doing so well. Fantastic, yep, Top Gun in and retires out. And Salty, the other debutant, unable to make his way through in his first quali session with us. Along with Nasri, who is rolling it back to the pits. So there, Salty's in. Nasri in as well. There we go, there we have it for Q2. There's Ryan at the top of the timesheets this time round. The big name going out there being Smaller Smiley, out in 11th place. So a few surprise names in the hat for Q3. As we said, Ryan top from John, from Chivers, from that guy, from Joseph, and then from Deflated. Prev also in there with a cracking time of 16.8. Top Gun joining him in 16s, 16.9 to put him in 8th. Jay Clates and Greg we will see in Q3 also. Both of these guys top end of the 17s, taking out Smaller Smiley on a 17.3. The rest about half a second off or more from Smaller Smiley. So we lose Flamingo Eagle after a crash, Nifty Nasri, an Angry Corgi, Salty, and Smaller Smiley. And we're saying Ryan's got no practice. And this is why I race without practice. There we go. Got another member of the John fan club in also. That's LDR Redeemer. Thanks for joining us. As we dive into Q3 with the fan club's man John with a bit of competition for pole. Not something he's been particularly used to there. But he is certainly in a competition tonight, and that is without 1010 present, of course. He's got Ryan for close company. He's got Clayton Joseph, who of course will improve. He's had Chivers and that guy who have put in a couple of brilliant laps in this qualifying session. And definitely scope for any of those guys really to challenge John. Ryan, we've seen, has managed to better him already. Okay. Popcorn out for these final sessions, these final couple of runs. Okay. But it's Chivers who's going to be the first to set us a lap here. John has come through at the beginning of the straight now as well, but Chivers will get us going. Dropping down to third gear. Turn 1, a little bit of a loss between 1 and 2, but keeping it quite nicely on the road as he picks it back up from turns 2 and 3. Split times of 28.6. Not the most rapid we've seen, but possibly owing to that little bit of a slip within turn 1 and 2 there. As he holds onto the side of the track. Just out of the double right-hander. Weaves it through. Pitches it through these S's. As much curb as he dare get away with as we come onto the third DRS zone. Really bumping it along that inside curb as he enters the stadium section. A little bit of a kick out. Car complaining on the throttle. Just as he reaches the final turn. Comes up to the line. And the first time on the board is 17.1. We know Chivers has got a bit more in than that. And John is all of a sudden into the 15s. We've been nowhere near those all session long. Unbelievable. John with a 15.9. Prev's up on 16.6 there, sorry. 16.664. Jay Clates is in. I'd imagine that's had a mistake in somewhere. And Ryan is close on with John as well. 16.077. Less than a tenth to make up if Ryan wishes to be the pole sitter in Mexico. Greg also coming up in 5th place. That guy is now starting one. Clayton is now finishing one. Let's see what he's got. I think Joseph is going around just ahead actually as well, but is invalid. So we'll have to have another go. Deflated. How close can you get? Splits John and Ryan, and just outside of the 15s. 16.004. It's like James Bond if he was slightly less famous. See, Joseph, I would imagine, is recharging. I don't think he's going to go for another there. One person who is going for another is that guy. as we can see where he is on track, just through 2 sectors. A bit of curb on the way in, runs it wide and invalidates on the way into the stadium section at the right-hander of turn 12. Pick up Top Gun now. It's 28.6 through 1 sector, so similar to Chivers there. You'd imagine he's got a little bit more in it than that. It's brilliant to watch them from there, but only from that particular angle where you don't see all the madness going on. As Top Gun just about holds it through turn 12. Just about holds it on entry to turn 13. Made that as wide as he could have as well. And filtering through to the line, Top Gun back end complaining through the Nigel Mansell turn. Up to 4th on a 16.5. Gets himself to what is currently best of the rest, really. Prix is also having another go and has got just under a 10th improvement out of himself as well here, so could be close to jumping Top Gun here if this one materialises. Here comes the AlphaTauri to the line. Rev on second run on the same set. Jumps up to 4th, does get Top Gun. It's a 16.4 and the midfield creeps up again. Going to be there by the end of the session. Very, very close. Prev certainly is having an absolute field day on there at the moment. Still with 2 to set a time as well, so that guy and Joseph could definitely be contenders also. Chivers, we know, has got a bit more in there as well. Jake Clates, we know, has got at least another couple of seconds, 2.5 seconds, I think, based on the time that took him through to Q3. Could be like watching the lottery being drawn way back in the day. We come through this final run, it's just going to be a complete and utter whirlwind coming up here. We're approaching 4.5 minutes left in the session. That guy and Joseph still on outlaps as they obviously attempt to get something on the board. That guy is going to be first to the line, so we will follow him through his lap. It looks nice and controlled, really, through his first couple of turns. Follow up to turn 4 now. 4, 5, 6. Feel painfully slow from inside a car like this. Just holding on, positioning the car correctly. Accelerating at the right point at the right time. And get to throw it through these corners. Up and down the speed all the while on those. Keeps it well within the track limits, 57.2 through those first 2 sectors. And coming up towards the line. Let's see what that guy can produce. It's certainly going to be better than what he's got at the minute. 16.8 sees him to 6th. Just jumps ahead of Chivers there. Joseph Hales is on a lap. See what he can produce. See whether he can get himself a little bit closer to the top 2 or 3. 56.6 through 2 sectors. It's insanely quick. Not 6/10 up on what that guy was doing. Could be heading well and truly for that top 3. What can he produce? Shortest run to the line. Joseph, his fastest. The 15.9 on the dot. And that is a lap that Joseph needed and massively. John deflated. Ryan will all still get a chance to go again. But Joseph has put himself well in the mix there. One small mistake from any of those three drivers that I've just mentioned, and suddenly find himself on pole for the race. So we've got everyone either on, well, everyone on the track, either out laps, in laps, or somewhere in between. Top Gun, pick him up and see whether he can offer an improvement. Hasn't been a blistering pace set by Top Gun, but certainly has got a chance, you would imagine, to improve. Jump up the order a little bit. Targeting definitely 5th, maybe 4th. Depends how much improvement you can get. There was no improvement through the first sector. As Joseph comes in and retires out, he knows he's not going to do any better than that. Let's see exactly how Top Gun can do. He's pulled a couple of tenths through that second sector, so he's got an improvement that is getting close to being in line with where he needs to be to jump Prev. As Jay Clates jumps up the order to a 17.1. Top Gun does jump Prev, is onto a 16.2. John is next through. John has made a mistake somewhere. He is in the pits. Deflated has made a mistake somewhere, and he is invalidated. Where's Ryan? Starting the lap now. And this could be a chance. Let's have a watch with Ryan as he comes through second and third sectors. Where is he going to be on the split? At 56.5. Definitely a chance here for the Williams driver. It needs to count. It needs to be flawless from here. Ryan up to the line. Can he get a pole? He can, and he gets it by 9 thousandths of a second from Joseph. 15.8 we're on there, and that is a storming lap from Ryan in the Williams. Greg is going to come into the pits there. He is done. That guy is still on track and on a lap. Greg retires out, of course. Top Gun, I think, is just out on track, but coming in shortly. And that guy will be the final one over the line, I would imagine. And obviously, of course, that time isn't representative. So we'd have thought John would have got pole. Yeah, let's say I came into that thinking exactly the same, but Ryan's produced an absolute monster lap. But they do say in Mexico that third is always the best place to start, isn't it? Cracking effort from the front row. John, of course, will have a beautiful toe down to the first turn. And there we go. That's that for Q3. Qualifying all over. Ryan with a fabulous effort to get himself onto pole, and Joseph following him into second place. So extending this championship lead is not going to be as easy as John would have thought it would have been. He has ended up just under a tenth off of pole. Deflated, of course, is 4th. Top Gun 5th. Prix qualifying in 6th, Chivers 7th with a 16.7 there. Another cracking lap from both of those drivers. That guy in 8th, Greg 9th, and Jay Clates 10th. We've got a nicely mixed up order here. A few drivers who we don't always see are definitely in contention. See what sort of chaos ensues in turn 1, whether we get a Valtteri Bottas and Lance Stroll bowling kind of incident. There we go. So, of course, while we wait for the race to begin, a rather overcast looking Mexico. Let's see whether we can jump in and do a featured driver. Lovely. Have we got anyone that is actually here tonight? We have. Fantastic. Let's jump in and let's see Joseph, I think. Yeah, we've got Joseph's response to the form. Yeah, so here's Joseph Hales. Joseph is on the grid in 2nd place, of course. He's 20 years of age. And he's come from the Garden of England, otherwise known as Kent. What did you just call me? He is a graphic designer by trade. And his hobbies and interests, he's just put reporting deflated wee. That comes a little bit from the middle of the season. I think that's a be there moment. That one. Now, he is racing on the wheel, so this is a bit, as I said, that I don't necessarily know what anyone means. But he is on the Fanatec Club Sport base with Formula V2 add-on. I always love it when someone puts favourite driver. The absolute GOAT, Mahavir Raghunathan. He says best track is Silverstone. And racing strength or qualifying pace and race pace. And not keeping it between the lines. In terms of goals, he wants to win and get podiums some races. He's certainly on it. He's made himself a comment that he's a one-lap merchant, which of course doesn't bode well for the race here. But there we go. That is quick insight into Joseph. There we go. I'll say he's looking to better his absolute hero Mahavir tonight and get himself onto the board big time. Certainly got a chance. Yeah, it's just a minute or so away from beginning the race. We're currently having a conversation about AT2 drivers and wins in the chat from drivers who have less wins than me. Slightly bafflingly, I will add. Abu Dhabi will be your 50th race, as if you count. I certainly don't count. I've raced too many to count. You know, I don't look at it as races, I look at grids full of drivers that I seem to have annoyed in the process. You've actually gone on and looked. Oh, okay. I didn't realise there was a bit for that, I'm not going to lie. Here we are on the grid here. Ryan is heading the field. We are 5 red lights and away we go for the Mexican Grand Prix. And we are away with Ryan. John's already made a place up on Joseph there as he's gone backwards. And we're going to go 3 wide. Deflated has come storming through for the outside line and is challenging Ryan down the inside. But Ryan keeps it ahead. A little bit going on further back. Just a couple of wheel bangs, I'd imagine. John has gone up, down and back again. And Chivers has got a brilliant start. Deflated to the outside there. Almost considering diving down the inside of Ryan. But Ryan gets through and keeps his lead for now. As I say, Chivers has made a cracking start up to 4th place already. 3 places up currently. And everyone except Greg, Nifty Nasri and Salty have all started on the mediums, so not a variation massively in terms of strategy here. Joseph gets by his teammate Chivers. Lap 1 Ryan has survived, but it's Deflated Wee's challenge, not the one of John as we all expected, that he has been holding off for this particular lap. Now we're about to see exactly who has got what particular wings in terms of the setups here. As we see Deflated approaching in the slipstream of Ryan. Fancy with DRS that gets done fairly quickly, that one. John, however, looks to be setting up Deflated. Get a feeling that could also be one that is done on the next lap, as that guy and Chivers and Top Gun involved as well. Both of all of those getting very, very close to each other. And pretty interesting as that guy runs off the track there, and Top Gun more than fancied to move around the outside, and behind that as well, you had Smaller Smiley and Prev battling it out. Prev has had quite a horrible start, and Smaller Smiley quite the opposite. And that is that guy off the track. Jay Clates and that guy have already gone into the steward's little black book for track limits infringements. And Top Gun makes his way up to 6th there. Smaller Smiley, more than having a look there, but defending from Prev as well, just behind. Back to the lead battle, and that is a run from Deflated that Ryan will absolutely hate the look of. As he sees the Alfa Romeo go streaming past. Really have a go at getting it back. Deflated takes the lead. And that would have been a hopeless feeling for Ryan there. I presume he'd have had a slight moment during the final corner. That all happened very, very quickly. Much quicker than Ryan, of course, would have liked. As that guy, Top Gun, Chivers, all on the same bit of track again. And Top Gun's going to have a look to the inside of that guy. And Top Gun gets the same treatment that that guy was treated to on the previous lap, and that allows Chivers in for 6th place. Top Gun's going to have to sit and bide his time a little bit longer here. There's already been a gap between the top 4 and the rest, breaking out 3.3 seconds between that guy and Joseph Hales in 4th. as Chivers runs wide there. We've got Top Gun looking very, very interested in the gearbox of Chivers there. We've got a brilliant DRS train forming here. We've also got a DRS move going on for the lead and for second place as Ryan and John both stream past Deflated Wee. Side by side are Ryan and John through turns 2 and 3, and Deflated has come back. He's come storming back. He's the only one that's going to be without DRS though, as we go up to 4 for turn 4 for the lead. Ryan keeps hold. Deflated manages to snatch second back after being passed under DRS. With Joseph also very much interested here in potentially taking that, or relieving John on that third position. Behind that, we've now got Chivers up into 5th as well. And you keep with Joseph because he's very much interested in the back of John here, you can see. Not often you get interesting racing in Mexico. Here we go. This is Mexico potentially at its finest. Now we'll see again the DRS zone. Ryan's turn for that hopeless sinking feeling again as he sees a sea of cars approaching him in his mirrors. There's a red sea right behind him. Deflated Wee and the bits of the Haas. No move on at all there, but there is a move on for that guy and for Top Gun as they both get around Chivers. Chivers sends it down the inside though into turn 2. Was a little bit overzealous on that move, I think. And Deflated has relieved Ryan of the lead here under the second DRS zone. Not often you get something down that one. But that's 4 fighting for the lead. And a few that you can throw a blanket over as well, a little bit further back. That guy, Top Gun, Small, Smiley and co. Everyone really down to Flamingo Eagle in 11th, who, by the way, has had a brilliant start after meeting the wall in turn 3 during Q2. We're going to keep with this lead battle, though, because this hasn't spaced out just yet. Deflated Wee awarded the sinking feeling this lap. Ryan, John, Joseph all hunting him down. It's definitely a better exit for John as he looks to dispatch Ryan first. Williams reaching the back of Deflated though as well at a fair old rate of knots. John to his left, or John to his right, Deflated to his left. And in the end, Ryan stays in second place but has a new leader ahead of him in the form of John in the Haas. Will he try and challenge him though? Up towards turn 4, side by side. Ryan soaring away at the wheel, inside, and a little bit of wheel banging in turn 5. Susceptible now to a move from Deflated to the inside of 6, the double right. And it just keeps on going with these lot. Ryan keeps himself in the lead and doesn't want to lose touch with John now. Don't want to be having any battles that are going to take these guys away from John. That is what they will all be thinking. Cools off and we go again. Through the Nigel Mansell turn. Of course, named so for that famous move around the outside of it. And Ryan, pulled to the inside there, was having a look at John, but potentially is setting him up for a move out of here. John's got a very good exit though. Ryan, I think, is a little bit wheel spinning as we have a yellow flag for Adam just briefly. We go line of stern into turn 4. No one pulling a move this time. Biding the time, these guys. Counting on no mistakes ahead. Adam retires out of the session in the pits. Keeping rather close together, these guys, as Flamingo Eagle takes Greg for some points through the third DRS zone, which is unusual. Still got a fair amount of cars all off of the back of Prev at the moment. As we come to the DRS zone for the leaders, and again Deflator's going to get the chance at Ryan before Ryan gets the chance at the leader. Third place is the place to be right now, and Ryan is about to be in it. Go a little bit of a skittish type exit as well from the Williams, but Deflator will be looking to kick on and try and get to John now. John has held it for a couple of laps here. As Salty ends up off the track, going off in a very similar place to where his teammate did in qualifying. Let's jump on with Top Gun and that guy as well. Both of these very, very close as well. Could be an interesting battle here. That guy will be looking to take that 5th place from Top Gun. He's driving the wheels off that thing and driving it off the track at points, because of course he does have that time penalty by his name as well. Do fancy that Ryan might be potentially struggling on the tyres a little bit. He's be under threat from Joseph here in the Aston Martin just behind. Is he going to pull a move? Not going to consider it. Not just yet, at least. You fancy if Ryan is struggling on the tyres that Joseph may need to get this one done pretty quickly. Not as a likelihood that he'll lose touch with the top two. Prev has gone dropping down the order there. Fancy mistake has just happened for Prev there. As we've got Smaller Smiley on the inside of Flamingo Eagle for position for 8th there. Just about keeps it ahead. Yes, now Deflated as well as dropping off the back of John. John will love to see a second gap here. That means he can just continue to build without any threat of any cars behind him jumping in on DRS, and Ryan could be in with a chance of jumping into second here as well. Deflated has not got the DRS, so has effectively got next to no choice but to submit to the overtake here. Ryan goes through under DRS, nice and easy for him. He will of course get the DRS on the next point as well, and whether that will help him close the gap to John is another matter. But something's going to have to help him, otherwise John could be on for a win. I find he very rarely gets the strategy wrong as well, John, so he is one who definitely will time his pit stop absolutely correctly. The rest of them, they will have to try something different to get around him. It's not often he makes a mistake at all, as John. See, Small Smiley begins to pull a little bit closer to the back of Chivers in 7th place as well. There's also under threat from Flamingo Eagle. Got both the Alpha Tauris behind those as well. Flamingo Eagle sticking right to the back of that Ferrari again. Desperate looking for a way through, practically pushing him through the stadium section. You fancy Smaller Smiley could well be done for on this one without a DRS. As we see Flamingo Eagle go for the move and get the move done. That guy has got it done on Top Gun as well. Smaller Smiley's come back late on the brakes. Danny Rick licking a stamp and attempting to send it down the inside. It's always going to be a little bit of a full send. And Smaller Smiley has to settle back into 9th place for now, as the battle at the top comes a little bit closer once more. Ryan beginning then to reel in John again. Maybe he was just managing a little bit, was the Williams driver. But we are back to where we were at the beginning of the race with all of these 4 cars pretty much breaking off into their own group. The DRS zone originating from the leader. Can Ryan have a look at the back of that Haas? Having more than a look at the back of it, but not going to have a chance to overtake. Definitely getting skittish on that curb under acceleration though, that Williams. Again, all holding line of stern. We'll come back to a couple of battles a little bit further down. Smaller Smiley now losing the back of Flamingo Eagle. Flamingo Eagle is jumping onto the back of Chivers rather quickly. Go back up to the top of the deflator. The seam has made a slight error there. Is now just outside of the second. And there is John in very early. So this might be a 2-stop from John. Deflated also in. Which leaves Ryan and Joseph out on track. See what John's going to fit here. It is another new set of mediums, so it is a 2-stop from John. And the same for the Alfa Romeo. Deflated way. It's really a gamble there. Taking a gamble. As I say, it is not one that John often gets wrong. LDR Redeemer quite rightly pointing out before John came into the pits that we were in a Haas sandwich. Flamingo Eagle dives to the inside there. He's made a brilliant start to this race as the Alpine driver. Already up to 5th place. I know we've had a couple come in, but that is up 10 from his starting position. That is a very good effort so far from Flamingo Eagle. As Ryan and Joseph both come in. And I would imagine they're also going to go a similar way about it for a 2-stop here. It is a hard set for Ryan. And a set of mediums for Joseph. Could Ryan be trying to go to the end here? I think he might well do. That will spice things up a little bit. In terms of obviously the gaps now, it's definitely the undercut that's come off for John and for Deflated. There's a fair gap that they have generated as a result of being out on those new tyres. You'll expect Ryan just to drop off a little bit on the hard tyres and let the pit stop gap do the work for the rest of it. Currently Flamingo Eagle now is finding himself in a battle for 3rd place, and that guy is leading currently. All of the previous top 4 have come in now, so we find that guy in the lead. Top Gun in 2nd, Chivers 3rd, Flamingo Eagle 4th. Smaller Smiley is 5th. John's having a little bit of a battle with Greg for 6th. Gets through quite easily, and Deflated dives in there as well. No time to be stuck behind Greg, he says. As Chivers filters into the pits and gets a penalty for his woes as well. All speeding. Brings John up to 4th now. I think if anyone takes a screenshot of the leaderboard at a point in that lap, you'll be wondering what on earth is going on. As we have John now under DRS ahead of Flamingo Eagle. Gets himself up to 3rd place, and he will love to see that. As Deflated is likely to be stuck behind Flamingo Eagle unless he pulls another dive in like he did on Greg. But yes, John will be absolutely loving this, because Deflated will be losing a heap of time behind the Alpine on aging tyres. Eventually gets him through the 3rd DRS zone. But equally that has just put him 1.8 seconds behind John. And that is just by following a car on old tyres. Deflated, I would imagine, would be feeling exactly that right now. That's a critical pass that John got done in a critical bit of the circuit. As now Joseph is obviously next around Flamingo Eagle, and Ryan has also dispatched him. Very, very nice late move from Ryan on the hard tyres. Last minute.com award coming his way there. Chivers and Prev still close up together. Prev's got a couple of laps more on his tyres. Both have obviously been in also. Smaller Smiley has come in and has put on a set of softs. So medium, soft, medium potentially on that one. The hard runners are still going. As is Flamingo Eagle. As is that guy. As is Top Gun. And as, yeah. Right, that's all there. You would imagine then the medium runners, of course, are fancying themselves on one-stop medium to hard, and the hard runners vice versa. Now Joseph with the lap fresher tyres. Going to have a look at the back of Deflated, who hasn't been able to make any time back on John since that pass on Flamingo Eagle materialised. As Flamingo Eagle finally comes in for a new set of tyres. A new set of hard tyres at that. One stop for the Alpine there. As Deflated runs himself a little bit wide. Joseph almost is able to capitalise. These guys won't want to be losing too much time fighting each other though. They want the target a little bit further up the road. I think Ryan probably will be looking to go to the end of the race, but for the rest of these, they need to get John past on track. Ryan certainly looking like he's making those hard tyres light up on the Williams there. He's certainly getting himself very, very close to the back of Joseph Hales. And you can imagine Deflated is chuckling and really saying the line, "I'm in danger." He seems to be getting away. As Joseph sends it to the outside, tries the move, a little bit of wheel banging, barges his way through on Deflated. Deflated's onto the inside curb, and you cannot accelerate on those. Joseph bullying his way through. He's got Ryan for company now. And around the outside, 4 Ryan goes, holds the inside for 5. Joseph backs out a little bit. as he jumps into turn 6. Deflated, still close. A little bit of a shake on the inside there that could have taken Joseph out, but Ryan ends up jumping up too. Lovely move around the outside of 4 and the inside of 5 for Ryan. Down the field. Up the field, first of all, let's see. We've got Top Gun also finally coming in to give up on those mediums. Imagine he takes a set of hards to the end. There we go. Which means it's just that guy out in the lead, for a little bit of time at least. As Joseph comes through on Ryan and Deflated does the same. As Ryan rather hung out to dry, of course, without the DRS. Let's jump onto the battle between that guy and John. John, of course, again, will be wanting rid of that guy rather quickly on those older mediums. Cannot keep it on the track there. You've got to fancy he's going to come in at some point, that guy. As John makes it nice and easily through, and Deflated picks up a time penalty, and it could well and truly flip on that this race, as that guy finds himself in the wall. Is there a front wing on the thing? Can we see it? That didn't look ideal at all. Like he just came off there, that guy. Let's see, Joseph being hunted down now. Deflated and Ryan close in tow. Joseph without the DRS, but does have enough wing off that car to keep himself ahead. Top Gun finds himself currently now up in 5th. All of a sudden. Maybe a one-stop could be a goer here. Top Gun, if he can get himself some progress on this stint, could well find himself well in contention for a win, depending on obviously how far Ryan's going to go. But currently he needs to fend off Chivers, and he does so rather easily. So John's got 4.7 seconds at the front, and Joseph, Deflated and Ryan are all trying to chase him down. They're all tripping him over themselves whilst trying to do it. Deflated has got 3 seconds on the board as a time penalty. Joseph and Ryan, you're on 2 different strategy calls here. Could it be Ryan's one-stop that is the wise move? Could it be Ryan on a one-stop at all? We'll find out. Deflated goes to the inside to try and take Joseph. Filters in just behind though. Joseph's harvesting. Low on energy. Can hold the inside. No, he's not. Deflated. He's going to go for it. Inside line. Joseph backs out. And almost runs it into Deflator's right rear. Didn't look the cleanest of moves, but it's gone on and it's happened and we're here now. Deflated a little bit wide through the S as well, which of course again will hold these guys up. They're back to 6 seconds off of John already. As Joseph is going to more than consider a move as we enter the stadium section. It's enough to make Deflated at least give him a little bit of room.
81, 85, 90, 97.
The fancy Joseph has just saved it for this particular part of the track, where overtaking is that much easier. Maybe Deflated size is starting to hurt a little bit. Let's see, there is Joseph in through in a straight line. Not too much complication on that. Ryan will be next in the queue. Can he potentially have a look at Deflated going towards turn 4? Deflated got Joseph here on the last lap. Ryan's not going to consider it. Bides his time again on those hards. Doesn't want to race them to death here. He is certainly almost pushing the Alfa Romeo through the double right-hander turn 6. Meanwhile, of course, the more they trip over each other, the more John gets away. Joseph has managed to pull himself near the end, just over 8 tenths there. And the rest. To say, I do fancy that Deflated tyres might be hurting a bit, because you can see him dropping off of the back of Joseph. Still got the DRS, but only just. Could be in trouble with Ryan here. So Williams tries to make its way round. And dives it in to turn 1. Gets the move done. Blocks any progress from Deflated through turn 2. Will there be a move back towards turn 4 though? There will not be. Ryan is free of the shackles of Deflated there. His next target will be Joseph. Actually, there's time where the hards start to come into their own now. Do we think Ryan's on a 2-stop? Or as Joseph goes into the steward's black book, time penalty for track limits for him. Ryan's to lose now then. Certainly at least for second. Do I think he's on a... I think it's going to be close with Ryan. I think if he has one stop this, it is a massive brain move. And I think it's also a huge stint from where he's gone for, as he tries the move on Joseph and gets that done rather nice and easily. I'll be hoping not to have to fight too much from here and preserve those tyres a bit, potentially for a 1. They want to get up the road at John though, at the same time. But yes, as I say, I think that's a great move if Ryan has gone for the 1 stop. It's just he's still kept with the rest of them in the time that he's obviously pitted. He's not run the he's not run his first set of mediums really particularly out of the park and slowed himself down at all. He has just come in. He's going to take the pain on the hards, of course, but there's going to be a fair loss for the others in the pit lane. Let's see, as an angry corgi comes in and will potentially finish the race on a set of softs. We'll see whether he gets those to the end. It's Deflated. As he passes Joseph, and Joseph ducks into the pits, and he will also finish the race on a set of softs, you would imagine from here. There he goes. Back into the race. Filter out just behind this battle going on. Smaller Smiley and his teammate Chivers, and that guy I think may well get him as well. It's going to be close. Joseph just ahead. He will need to be able to skip round Chivers and Smaller Smiley to really make some progress. Needs to get this. Oh, there we go. Needs to get these two dispatched quickly. Chivers obviously looking at the back of Smaller Smiley and definitely had the intent, but has backed off and has rather smartly let his teammate through. Joseph to 6th now and will be following Smaller Smiley all the way through here. Needs to get this one done as we enter the stadium sections. Kept outside though. Gonna send it to the outside, a little bit of wheel banging, and he's off, and he's off, and he's out. Joseph Hales is out of the race. Oh my, and it's a safety car. And this honestly is disastrous for Ryan. His strategy pretty much wholly relied on something like that not happening. But we're pretty much going to have everyone coming in for a set of soft tyres, you would imagine, from here on out. I think it was a send late on, obviously into the corner from Joseph, but he did get it around and towards the apex. Definitely imagine, obviously, with the tyre difference on there, that there should have been a level of backing out. But here we are. What happens for Ryan now as an Angry Corgi gets a drive-through. Of course, he comes in for a set of softs. Just like deflated wheel behind him. John, of course, will come through and take the lead, but we'll have a fresh soft race for the rest of this. Also give Top Gun a really nice chance to catch up as well. He's just fitted a fresh set of mediums, so see himself a little bit later on into the race. Wait for that Mylander to pick everyone up. We're going to have a lap or two just behind it. Field, of course, is fairly spread out at the moment, so it may take 2 or 3 laps just to get everyone all in a line to go again from there. As Smaller Smiley, the other associate of the move that saw Joseph leave the race prematurely, comes in, gone for a new set of softs. On this particular occasion, I would imagine the front wing is fully intact once more, if it wasn't already. Again, with a few with good chances to get some points on the board. That guy definitely could be up there, certainly with a chance of fighting for Top Gun's 4th position, maybe further than that even. Queue begins to form finally behind our safety car driver. Say with the field spread, the Angry Corgi is there. I think Salty is in and among that pack as well, so obviously whilst he will be ghosted to the rest of them, that's not nice. Not nice for any of the rest of the drivers behind. So it is obviously John still leading. He's obviously come in a lap earlier for the softs, but Ryan obviously is See, pitting behind, or has pitted behind the same safety car. I think that was his strategy that's gone well and truly out the window as a result of this incident. I think he could well have been on for a win on the alternate strategy to what John and the others were running. But it's all proved completely worthless as far as that's concerned. We're all on a set of softs at bar 3 drivers to the end of the race now. Top Gun, Flamingo Eagle and Prev the outliers. Prev on an older set of hards as well, so you may see him go backwards fairly quickly. Was just waiting for a couple of the refs to join up with the back of the pack. Smaller Smiley in 11th has managed to get to the back there. Padge and Nazari on the start-finish straight. Salty is lapped, so is already in the queue. And an angry Corgi is getting angrier, but may also be getting closer to the back of the pack. So, where do we go from here, do we wonder? What's happened to Deflated Wee? What has happened to Deflated Wee? Has he come off on the safety car? Safety car comes in this lap. What is going on there? He's come off under the safety car, has he? What's gone on? All of that, and suddenly Deflated's just started dropping like a stone through the field. That guy's up to 4th, and suddenly Top Gun and that guy now fighting for podium place. Safety car comes in this lap, so Burnt Myland appeals off into the pits. So we're no longer waiting for an angry Corgi to back up the field. As John gets going, seems to have left the Alpine behind quite nicely in the form of Salty, his lapped car. As Deflated comes in, he could probably see himself out of here. John, obviously getting himself a nice advantage to go ahead with to begin there. And the rest of them have all been pretty good through that first couple of corners or so. Let's see. Jay Clates and Smaller Smiley going wheel to wheel. Down through turns 4 and 5. Smaller Smiley showing the cold shoulder, pushed a little bit to the outside, but you don't ever get to side by side through there. Not unless you're some sort of surgeon. Chivers has also dropped off the back of that guy already. We've got a 4-way fight with top 4 all in line for the lead. That guy, see, I know he's on a penalty. That's 3 seconds worth. Oh god, what am I telling to AC2? Christ. What am I going to get in trouble for now, Steely? As Ryan finds himself under pressure from Top Gun behind. He was flying on those mediums there. And Greg has himself up to 6th place, just ahead of Prev. Oh, can't go too wide there. Yeah, no. I'll tell them that once I actually get to that corner. I'm still remembering when Novatech and Johnny B took me out. Right at the end of this straight. Salty grabs himself a time penalty there. Starting to space out when you got the feeling John really is beginning to get a grapple hold of the race here. It is fighting for the places behind that is going to be the part of the rest of these races. Flamingo Eagle gets himself another time penalty. Greg is on for a good result in 6th, and Chivers as well, especially up in 5th. Pretty good. And John currently on for a full haul. But Greg obviously wants the penalties arrive. Yes, you're quite right in saying. Could well go into P4, definitely ahead of Chivers. Just needs a little bit more to push onto that guy. And he could well be in there. We'll need to dispatch Chivers really. In an ideal world. That guy in Top Gun still going for what could be a podium position as well. That guy, of course, would need to get rid of Top Gun and keep going. He's crawling all over the back of the Red Bull. And will he have some hope through the DRS zone? You would imagine he would do. Softs versus mediums. Nearly always works out in favour of the softs. You've got to fancy he's got to get this move done at the end of the straight, as the rest of them all have spaced out. Here goes that guy for podium position, potentially. Can he run himself 3 seconds ahead of Top Gun? Flamingo Eagle's out. And Flamingo Eagle has caused a safety car. And that's just happened on the pit straight. I don't think we'll see any bits of Flamingo Eagle again. And Angry Corgi's got another speeding under safety car penalty. We're going to have a brief stint behind Burnt Mylander again. What I can only describe as being possibly one of the most bizarre places to put your car out of a Grand Prix. His car just turned by itself on the straight. And imagine that's hardware. An Angry Corgi will obviously be first behind. I don't think he will be first behind Burnt Mylander. He's not in the queue. Yeah, something to do with the hardware, the wheel, etc. And Angry Corgi's got another speeding penalty. I think if you've got this many speeding penalties in real life, you'd have lost your licence. Can't drive on British roads with all those. Hope Greg to win. Yeah, I mean, we can hope upon hope, as Nasri appears to have left the session. Currently running in the points as well. That's slightly gutting. See whether he can get in before the restart. Everyone's looking for a Greg win. Everyone except all the drivers ahead of him. He's certainly in position. Should at least get Top Gun, you'd imagine. And if he can keep right close to that guy, there's a podium in it. Oh gosh, we've got a random. Not that they'll get into the race now, but we've got a random. As if doing a virtual giveaway of the win there. Potentially saying deflated. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near these, is he really? He might be. Depends how long John takes to go. He will need to pin it pretty much now. And there he goes. Goes off the final corner again. And away we go. And that is that guy off the track. Greg into fourth with a clear shot at Top Gun for third. Ryan is going to have a big chance as well, drafting down the straight. Looking at the back of John. Better line through turn one, but I think John's cut him off well. Suddenly he's back in a race again. Greg, let's say, looking to hunt down Top Gun potentially for a podium. He'll be hoping for a track limits penalty for somebody. As Ryan gets right up close and personal with that Haas's Ferrari gearbox. And on through this second and third sector now. Ryan will have one attempt at the end of this straight to be able to get past John and stop him taking the maximum from this race. Here we go. We're on to the final lap here in Mexico. That guy, there's Chivers backwards. Chivers in the pits. Okay, strange. Anyway, that guy heading his own little slipstream train. Greg seems to have dropped off at the back of Top Gun, so Top Gun I think has made a pretty good decision to go for a set of mediums. This is one more go, but it looks like Top Gun's going to be closer to Ryan than Ryan is to John. But Top Gun also shaking there. Deflated's up to 9th all of a sudden. Started this lap in 12th, by the way. But we are likely to see John come through and take the victory on this race. But we can't say that the others haven't given it a go under the safety car. Fireworks are blazing. Chivers is going to be hit with the naughty stick because he's on some wets. He's picked from 5th for that. And round comes John to take the victory. The RS is enabled. It's no use at all to anyone. Ryan will be wishing he had one more lap to give it a go. Second for Ryan, third for Top Gun, and a cracking race for Greg. Coming up to 4th position. Prev, his teammate, in 5th as well, with a cracking effort at the end of the race on those hard tyres. Smaller Smiley in 6th place, but marred by the incident with Joseph. 7th is that guy, 8th is Deflated, 9th is Padge for a couple of points. 10th is Jay Clates. Nasri into 11th. Jay Clates, by the way, missing out by less than a 10th on that 9th position. Yeah, Nasri on debut 11th. Shivers 12th. And Angry Corgi still out going round in 13th. And Salty is 14th. So there's a drive-through to go on as well, doesn't Angry Corgi, so plenty of time for this just yet. But yes, a cracking race. Congratulations to the top 3. Congratulations to Greg as well for a cracking race there. What a result. And Chivers is being hit by the naughty stick before the streams even had a chance to end. Greg gets the games driver of the day. And to be fair, I'm gonna be more than inclined to agree. It's definitely in contention tonight. What a race. As I say, you don't often get some good racing in Mexico. Ryan, as our Statman TD is saying, he's had 4 second places in a row now. So, always the bridesmaid and all that. As John produces the American flag despite the Mexicans. As the podium celebrations get going. And the Mexico City Grand Prix is all done and dusted. Our top three of John, Ryan and Top Gun. Fantastic stuff all round there. I don't think the results board is actually going to come up before I get kicked from the session, is it? Okay. Well, we tried. I'm not going to get a full rundown there, but Padge definitely did get the 2 points as well. Cracking race from Greg for 4th, and as I said, Prev has done brilliantly to get into 5th there as well. Statman TD again saying John just needs 2 points to win it next week. That's fine. I'll take TD's stats as gospel, of course, as you expect. But yes, cracking race all round. Angry Corgi asking in the Discord, is there an award for most drive-throughs in a race? Because I'd like my medal now. Tell you what, I'll steal your driving license and go again. I will. Get this all done. Of course, let's say we are pretty much all through there. As long as 10-10 doesn't score, as I say, it's 2 points for John to win it next week, next time out. We do get champions crowned in Brazil, we know that. We're back to a sprint format next week. Of course, beforehand we have got AT1 and ATT. So AT1 Thursday, AT2 Sunday. It has been real, hasn't it? Brilliant stuff. Well, thanks a lot for everything, guys. Brilliant tonight. Brilliant racing again. Just, keep it all going, you guys. This will, yeah. This precedent to the end of the season would be incredible. So I'll see you, or whoever else will see you next week. Goodbye for now.